Lesson 8. We are working in Audio Rough Cut, number 4 in the Rough Cuts bin. The first clip we're going to look at is this takeoff clip here. And with my playhead right in the center, I'm going to go over here to our markers button on the toolbar. You'll notice that next to where it says markers, on that pop-up there's an M. Keyboard shortcut M, you can hit it once to add a marker. If you tap it twice, a little dialog box will pop up and you can name that marker. Add roaring takeoff. I'll hit done. For the next one, Maldives, right in the center. M for marker, and I'll hit M again. And this one is going to be called Add Overhead Seaplane. Now the next clip, and I can just kind of arrow down, is this South Pole shot here. I'll hit M, M again, and this will be Add Loud Prop Plane. Hit enter. We've got to put a little VFX note. So I'm actually going to move my playhead to the beginning or a few frames in. I'm going to come here to my marker menu and go to yellow. If I hold down Option and I click and drag this marker, I can turn this frame marker into a duration marker. I can double click it, VFX, tab to go down to the notes bin, and write move the plane down in the frame. Just want to make this shot have a little bit more visual weight, show a little bit more sky. You can also go over here to where it says annotate. In the upper left hand corner of our timeline viewer, you see we have a few options for freehand drawing. Got a line and a box. I'm going to use this little arrow actually, and if I just click and drag, now I have this kind of cool little arrow. If I want, I can do some drawing, something like this, and draw that too. We can turn off that little annotate feature there. And this annotate function is only going to show up when you have that marker chosen, where your playhead is over that marker. So don't worry, it won't show up in the final print. I'm going to go to the edit index up here. In the upper right corner of this window, we can click and go down to show markers and then all. We could essentially call this our spotting list. We need a roaring takeoff, overhead seaplane, we have to move the plane down. We also have to find a loud prop plane sound effect. So let's go to our media pool, and I'm going to go to this sound effects clip here that I already have open, and I'll close that, and let's take a listen to this first one. We can do M and then hit M again, and we can call this one plane overhead and hit enter. The next sound effect is going to be right here, loud prop plane. Double tap M, get that dialog box, and you guessed it, loud prop plane. We have just a single frame marker here, but if I come up here and I change 0 here to a 3, it will actually turn this frame marker into a duration marker lasting 3 seconds, and right now it says 1 frame. We'll just make it 3 seconds and 0 frames. When I hit done, now this has turned into a duration marker. Our next soundbite will be roaring jet takeoff. I'll just do an in point by hitting I on the keyboard right at the beginning. I'll hit O for out, right click or control click, and say convert in and out to duration marker. I can double click, whoop, and hit done. Over here in our timeline view options, this might be the time where you kind of shrink down your video. So adding and patching tracks. We have a bunch of audio to add here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the track header here, and I will do add track and stereo. We are going to add sound to this Maldives shot here. We are going to use that plane overhead. You see here I have my audio in list view. If you have it in thumbnail, switch it to list, and you see that the sound effects clip I was working on now has these little tags, which will take me to each marker. Now this first marker here for plane overhead, I don't have an in-out range and I don't have a duration marker, but I'm going to show you a way to take the audio from this source and patch it through to the audio 3 track. With our playhead right on that frame where the plane just starts to come into the frame, and the playhead in our source viewer kind of right in the peak of that sound clip. I need to go to our track header here and I need to change our patching. You see here it says A1 with a little red box around it. This means what's coming from audio source 1, which is whatever's here, is going to patch to this track. I don't want to do that because I have some vocals there that I don't want to cut over. I want to patch that audio 1 from this source viewer to audio 3. Playheads are lined up this point to this point. I'm going to use the X on my keyboard to mark this clip. So what that will do is allow me to use the replace function on my toolbar, and see right there I've got the peak of that audio lined up with that moment where the plane comes into the shot. Turn my loop on there and then I hit my question mark or / button.
If it was possible to shoot it.
I think it did the trick. I'm going to right click our track header here and go change track color to navy. The second one will be orange. The third one we can make, I'll say lime. So let's go ahead and add these sound effects. Our loud prop plane can go to the South Pole. Click and drag that into our sound effects here. Our roaring jet takeoff. Here I can actually click and drag it right from the marker point here and drop that in. We might have to change the sequence of these clips in the timeline, so we want to link them. Click the video, hold down Command, and then click the audio, and then right click or alt click to get a contextual menu and then link clips. And I will do that with each one of these so that if I do move them around, the audio and the video won't get separated and I can work in a real organized, easy way. So now, once I've done that, you can see that these clips have a little link icon added. That makes it helpful to see what clips are linked. Now, if you need to unlink these clips for any reason, you can go up here and click unlink and you'll see that they're unlinked. Again, if I command click those and I relink them, now they're linked again. Now for some of these sound effects, just to make it easy, I can go in and start to adjust them right in the timeline by using that volume control. I will just click this volume line and I'll just start by bringing it down 10 decibels or so. I can click this audio clip, do copy, select the other two, and do paste attributes. And with this window popping up, I can say, yeah, I just want to paste the volume attributes and hit apply. Now I want to listen to the audio and see where it's registering. So let's play this. We're up just above -20. We can see the music target is -20 and below. Let's kind of bring the whole thing down a bit and do bring it down to minus 20 decibels on the volume level and see where it hits on the decibel meter. I think that's good. See, we're peaking at about minus 25. I think that's a good place for us. After the first clip here, we need to kind of ramp up the music. So I'm going to hold down Option and then click the volume line right where my playhead is at the end of that first clip. I just click away so that can be disengaged there. Up here, we see time code in the upper right hand corner. On my keyboard, I can just hit -1, 2 for minus 12. And if I hit enter, it's going to bring my playhead back exactly half a second because this is a 24 frame per second timeline. And as I zoom in, I'm going to do the same thing I did before by adding a keyframe and just do Option, click to add that keyframe. Grab our first keyframe and bring it up to maybe minus 11, just a little bit.
Shoot the real world.
There we go. It's a nice little way of bringing the music in for emotional emphasis. One thing we want to look at is the quick fade. Whether it's the video or the audio, there's a little quick fade handle. Add a little quick fade to our music here and bring it in until it says...
In this film, making a documentary about how the airplanes changed the world, it was really...
So that's a 2-second fade in. As you can tell here, plus 2 seconds. That's it for lesson 8. Check out the lesson review from page 221. If you can answer these questions, then you have conquered this lesson.